Just thinking about choices. Do they even matter anymore?
Depends on who's making the choice.
It is my honor to introduce the Governor of the Commonwealth, Ms. Pamela Milton.
So many didn't make it. Also, we could survive.
And we will.
Sooner or later, he'll cut you down.
Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Jarrell here.
And I'm Josh. And today we're here to discuss The Walking Dead, the final parts of The Walking Dead series. Our thoughts, open discussion here on what we think the series is going to kind of end like.
Yeah, it's crazy. 2022 is here. The Walking Dead will be ending. We don't know if there's going to be any delays as of right now. It's still set for February 20th for return to Part B. Just because of COVID and everything, who knows if there'll be any delays, you know, if anything with Part B would be delayed or anything with Part C maybe, but...
well, they've already filmed Part B, I believe.
Part B should probably be done already, yes.
Yeah, and so my guess is if there's any kind of delay, it would be in the final part.
Part
but
C.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they can get ahead of it and everyone stays healthy. But... So, you know, as you guys know, we have read the source material comic books, and we won't get into any character-specific spoilers, but we will mention just kind of the story arc and how it goes. And unfortunately for us, for the comics, it wasn't really a great story arc, the Commonwealth, and we've mentioned this many times. We know the show is going to, you know, it's going to change it and make it, you know, more presentable for viewing and changing the stories because there's a number of specific characters who were not here that were, you know, who were huge in this story. But I think as of right now, I think I have good hopes for how they're going to do the Commonwealth story arc. We're going to get introduced to Pamela Milton in this next part because they've already kind of shown a next part teaser, you know, after the Part A finished. It was kind of like they were introducing Pamela Milton at this like convention. Yep. There's been some teaser pics showing Carol in the Commonwealth, like looking around, like her face is like, yeah, I'm not sure about this. There's a pic of Daryl in there too.
Of course,
so
Carol would say that.
Yeah, so I mean, we know our group's going to be there because of the source material. Eugene basically takes Pamela back to Alexandria. That's where she meets Rick, and Rick gives her a tour of Alexandria, Hilltop, Oceanside, and also the Sanctuary, because the Sanctuary was kind of theirs at that time. And then she brings them back to the Commonwealth to show them how they do things. And that's where the whole story begins of how you see the Commonwealth leading their people. Yeah, into a totalitarian type thing. You know, what you did in the past is what you do for them. High level, low level, you know, they all basically have peasants.
So do we get a time skip for Part 2 then? Because here's why I think that we probably will, right? At least a little bit.
We're probably gonna pick up immediately after the events of Leah firing the arrow, the missiles, but we know who survives because they already shown a teaser of who's, you know, everyone survives technically. They may kill a couple people, but our main characters will survive.
Yeah, I just think that you know, in order to get that scene where Pamela Milton does come back to Alexandria, we have to see somewhat of a thriving Alexandria.
We hope so, yeah.
And I think that we're gonna get like a little bit of a time skip, so that scene can really kind of have precedence and or you know have meaning, because you know. That's the thing, right? In the source material, when Pamela Milton went to Alexandria, she saw a thriving society that was really different than hers. And right now, you go to Alexandria and you're going to see people literally trying to rebuild this thing.
Decimated. Yeah. Both Alexandria and Hilltop, or of course Hilltop, but Alexandria is just decimated. Yeah, in the source material, they had 4 communities that were thriving, and Rick took her to all of them. And so another thing I guess I kind of want to backtrack is how quickly are they going to finish this Reapers arc? There's not that many Reapers left.
There's not, but I mean, do they even pose a threat anymore? I mean,
Leah still does for right now.
I don't know,
but
well, I mean,
I don't know how it's going to work.
Show-wise, they're obviously going to still keep them, but I mean, from my point of view, I don't think they're a threat at all.
No, I mean, they had what, 15, 20 people after the events now. I think they maybe only have 5. Leah, the one guy, can't remember his name now. He was always suspicious of Daryl. And
He was killed.
I think he's alive.
No, because he shared a smoke, didn't he? Wasn't he the one that shared a smoke with Daryl at the top?
No.
No.
That's
You're
not him.
right.
That was
You're
another
right.
guy.
Yep.
I think there's probably at minimum maybe 5 total, or just under 10. I mean, there's not that many Reapers left, so they're gonna have to get rid of this story pretty quick. I mean, I love Lynn Collins as Leah. She's a fascinating character. We thought that maybe she was gonna turn and go good once she killed Pope, realizing what he was doing, but she's still, band of brothers with those guys.
Yeah,
and
but
she's just not.
Do you think they just gloss over that and just kind of don't continue that story? My thought is
I think
that
they'll continue it, but
my
just
thought
depends on
is
where they're
that-
going to lead the end to.
honestly, I'd like to see them not even continue it.
Wow.
Leah goes off. Maybe we get a quick scene of them running off or whatever, and then we see Leah. I still think that Daryl and Carol's spinoff going to New Mexico, was it?
Yeah.
I still think that has to do with Leah.
That's still kind of the theory that we've had, and there's some others that have kind of felt that way.
Which means Leah's going to be towards the end of the show, right? Because Daryl's going to be. We know Daryl's going to be in the last half.
I think they need to get rid of the Reaper story now. If they want to make Daryl and Carol going on their adventure, Leah being part of it, they can end that story arc now, which we'll know what he's doing when we see the spinoff. But I really think the latter half of Part B and full Part C will be full on Commonwealth. There'll be nothing with Reapers.
Absolutely. That's why I'm thinking like Reapers has to be either just glossed over or done, right? Like 1-2 episodes maybe feature them, but I don't know. I think that Part B and C need to be primarily focused on the events of Commonwealth.
Yeah. And, right now, once we've said that the Commonwealth story arc in the comics it was good, but it wasn't great. And it was, the end of the comic series. Robert Kirkman was ending it. So,
Which the end was beautiful.
The end was beautiful. Yeah. I mean, you've seen other videos. We won't mention, as I said, character specific things, but, the majority of you probably know already. But, I want to see some characters really take a lead, taking some story arcs. Now, we know that Yumiko is taking Michonne's kind of story arc with finding her brother. That was a thing in the source material where Michonne found her long-lost daughter at the Commonwealth. I really want to see more with Aaron.
Oh, you will.
You know what I'm saying? So
You will.
So basically, guys, what I want Aaron to have is more of Rick's storyline. Now, a lot of you are probably like, "Oh, Daryl should have it." Daryl's personality has never been the one to truly lead. Now, he is a leader. He is. He will
But
lead.
he's not the leader.
He will lead when he can, but he likes to follow others, and then he likes to give his opinion when it counts, so then they listen to him. But he's not one to stand in front of all of them with all of them behind him and say, "No, we're going to do this." He's not that type of leader.
I don't know if I think he is, right?
He is, but it's not
he's not.
It's not who he is.
It doesn't.
It's not his personality.
It doesn't come out that way.
It doesn't
right?
come out that way.
Like
Yeah.
he maybe think that, he may say that, but
Right.
like it doesn't. Like he doesn't just. I don't know. It's just he's not a Rick. I mean,
Right. Well, nobody's a Rick,
I
but
know.
similarities
I
with
don't know. Aaron's pretty close.
Well, yeah, his face and everything. Well, it's
I
like
know.
his beard and things. But I'd say similarities with the reason I say Aaron is because Aaron, they all share helping people and things like that. That was Aaron's number one thing. He found our group. He wants to help all the time. So when Aaron sees how the Commonwealth is ruling, he's definitely not going to be down for that. And I could see him taking kind of that Rick role from the source material of standing up for those people and trying to make change.
yeah, but I don't want Aaron,
along with Maggie and that kind of thing.
I don't want a statue of Aaron.
No,
You know
we
what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah,
I
we
don't
want
Aaron
that. We
to
don't want
take
that part.
like that. That is Rick's role.
Yeah. Okay.
Rick is the savior of the community, like
Right.
of civilization, at least in the source material.
Right.
And that became the challenge when you lost him. And maybe they're trying to do that in the movies to reestablish that. But like a lot's been lost since Rick's been gone. I mean, you just take what we were talking about earlier. Alexandria is the only community left. Well, okay, if Rick comes back, did he really help rebuild society now that Alexandria is the only one left? And you could make an argument that he wasn't around to rebuild it. So, like, that it's lost its lackluster. It's lackluster now.
Right. It has. I mean, we wouldn't
Lost
want
its last luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's we want Aaron to take that leadership role, but we don't want it to be the full-on Rick role to where, yeah, like you said, they're building a statue of Aaron. It
Takes away from Rick.
It takes away from Rick. And yes, Rick that we know of or Andrew Lincoln will not be coming back to film anything for the last season. We still don't know. We've given you our theories.
We could talk about that next.
We love what we would want for the ending to kind of make it feel better. But I think they'll do good with the story arc of the Commonwealth. I think it's going to be. I can't wait to see how they do Pamela Milton. We've already seen her son, which is an absolute exact personality as Sebastian was in the source material.
They did a really awesome job
did
with
a
that
good job.
with that casting, and the actor did just in the little bit that we've seen.
Yeah, just pompous,
That was perfect.
spoiled. I mean, it's just who Sebastian is.
Perfect.
Yeah, so can't wait to see how Pamela's going to be. Can't wait to where they finally reveal the real Stephanie, to bring her in and she wasn't a huge character in the source material, but she was very linked to Eugene and building, helping Eugene build the railroad afterwards. And so I can't wait to see how that goes.
I'm excited to see who takes Dwight's role in the source material. They may not even do that. Who comes in and says, I don't agree with the way this place is running it, and in order to fix it, let's take it over. And then who's going to disagree with that? Most likely Aaron.
Yeah. Well, Aaron and Daryl too, probably.
Or Daryl. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the only hothead that I think we've talked about it before, it would be, would Gabriel be going down that route? But I don't really see that.
No.
I don't see Gabriel doing it. I mean, he's a hothead. I mean, he's kind of lost he's lost a lot lately. So, but I don't think he would get that piece of it.
Could it be Ezekiel?
No, Ezekiel would be more like Aaron. He definitely. Of course, Ezekiel, was fighting for his life too, or fighting to get healthier. So, I don't see Ezekiel doing that either. But
Part C.
I think Part B will be kind of the introducing the Commonwealth, getting people familiar with the characters, the story. Part C will be, of course, the conclusion. I think we'll kind of get the Civil War, in a sense, the Civil War in the Commonwealth. The people of the Commonwealth will see our group like, oh, wow, these people are cool. They're willing to help. Let's tell them the bad things of what happens here to see if they can make change. That'll get around to Pamela. She'll think there's a big coup going on. There'll be kind of maybe a civil war, not as, in the source material, it didn't really get to a major point of a lot of deaths or anything.
No.
So maybe they'll do that. And then they'll conclude that piece of it. And then the Commonwealth will eventually become one of our communities, and everyone lives in harmony, and they do a flash forward about 20 years.
25 years.
I really don't want them to go that long, because then that means Rick has been gone for like 20 years. I don't want that.
It makes his return. Well, what would he be?
We'll see. No, so
he'd be 60, 70 plus.
Yeah. So no, I say if they did a 20-year skip, then Rick is already back. Everyone's living in harmony. They're growing old. After the Commonwealth story arc, I think they should probably cut to maybe, let's say, a year or two.
Yeah.
Then Michonne and Rick return to Alexandria, and we get the whole badass tears flowing scenes.
What would be beautiful?
And then cut forward again to how they're prospering. And everything.
What would be beautiful in my mind is if Rick returns end of Part B. Meaning he returns to the group, we get all those scenes, and then Part C is Rick, rebuilding,
taking his comic role in the source in the Commonwealth.
Not going that far.
Not the end piece of it.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm more inclined to say that our original hope was that he's a part of the last episode, maybe they don't do a 25-year skip, but he returns the last episode, to see what, he inspired has been built.
Gotcha.
And I think it'd be a big disservice, and I've said this before, to the fans, if Rick doesn't return.
It would help to better tell the story for the Rick movies. If we get Rick returning to his main show, by the end, Rick and Michonne return
Together
after the Commonwealth story arc has ended. They're prospering. He arrives. He sees grown-up Judith. He meets his son. He hugs, and there's tears everywhere, right? Then I'm saying they can cut forward a little bit more, like go 10 years, maybe 15 years, to just see the prospering of more of the prospering of Alexandria Hilltop. They've got Oceanside back. They got the Commonwealth, and they show specific things of what from the events that happened in the Commonwealth. Maybe they'll mirror some things in the source material or not, and then it's kind of how it ends.
How can you end an 11-season show
without Rick,
without
and
Rick,
Michonne,
and just not just without Rick, but how can you do that without him returning to his daughters, his son, and Daryl?
Yeah.
How can you have an end of a show without those scenes?
Yeah. It'd be tough.
I'd be, dude. I'm telling you, a lot of people would be pissed off
because
more than the Glenn shit.
Yeah. So that's been the biggest kind of complaint about the Rick movies. I mean, we all want them to go, and we know that they will. We're still have high hopes on it, right? But the longer it goes, and I think we've mentioned this before, it makes a disservice because it makes Rick's ending of his story an optional viewing. You're making it an optional viewing for fans, making it also only in theaters. But you're making it optional. Now, if you don't bring Rick back to solidify the end of the series, to say after 8 years, he's finally made it back, then the Rick movies can tell the story of the events that happened from his disappearance
for him
to get back.
Yeah.
You don't want to not bring him back at the end of the series and, we have to wait for supposedly 3 Rick movies to find out how he got back. That will be optional viewing for a lot of people.
So then the argument against that is, well, then you're taking out the scenes. If he returns to the show, you're taking out the scenes that could be used in the movies, right? Like, but here's the problem, right? Like, why should anyone that invested in this show have to pay to go see him return in a movie? Mm-hmm. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a slap in the face.
Well, with this, I mean, we know movies take a while to go, and we're just, because they were announced so early, we're just anticipating it.
Are they ever going to happen?
If they can they get 3?
I don't think they're ever going to happen.
Can they get 3 movies out of this? I know we're going on a tandem on Rick, but
but I think he plays a part. He plays a
huge
big deal in what should be the final part of the show.
Yeah, for sure.
He should be in that final part. Whether it's I don't even care if it's the final episode, but give him a final episode at the end. I'm not talking about the actor, because he already had his last episode, right? It was great.
Right. Yeah.
But you left it open. You chose to leave it open and have him survive.
Yeah.
And we're waiting on 3 years now for him to return.
Yeah. In our eyes, you have to bring him back in at least the minimum the final episode. To let's basically say, okay, he made it back. All right. Now we can wait for these Rick movies to find out what happened in between, because I'll be very angry if I have to wait for the Rick movies to find out how he gets back. I'll be very angry. And even if they can make 3 movies, it's hard to make 1 movie.
Yeah.
If they're going to plan to make 3, all right, well, we won't find out for 6 more years of how long it takes movies to be done. Ugh, very frustrating. But guys, we are hopeful for, stay tuned. We're definitely going to have, more videos on predictions and thoughts on how this series is going to end as we learn more of the story. And pretty soon, they're going to be releasing the episode titles and synopsis, so we always love going through that with you guys. And they haven't done very much promoting recently. You guys have already seen our video about the cryptic tweet. We posted that earlier than we did this, because we wanted to get that out earlier. But they haven't been really promoting very much, and I think they'll start more, because it's under a month. Well, it's about a month now, and we need a trailer.
I'm sure.
We need a full-blown trailer.
I'm kind of shocked that we haven't already.
Yeah, it's been really weird. But let us know what you think, your kind of early expectations of the final season, Part B and Part C. Definitely stay tuned. We have a lot more to talk about with this series ending, and one of our favorite series and the big part of this channel. But yeah, there's going to be many more Walking Dead universe things to come.
Oh, for sure.
So once again, guys, if you enjoyed, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned. I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation. We're out.